All right, guys, today, cryptocurrency. What's Brett's take on cryptocurrency? I had one of our followers submit that question. Can you talk about, just with the volatile environment we're in, talk about cryptocurrency? So here's just my kind of lens that I look through it. I think inherent in that question is a question of how do you value, put a valuation on cryptocurrency? Is it a sound investment? All those different types of things. Well, just a couple of principles. One principle would be, for example, as I look at any investment, I try and ask some basic questions. So maybe I'll use semiconductors as an example. If I'm investing in semiconductors, those stocks have also been quite volatile. But if I ask a question, what's the future of semiconductors? Do we need more semiconductors or less semiconductors in the future? Well, in the environment that we're in and where technology is going, likely more. So I look at it and say, hey, we've got solid earnings and growth that should be coming in that space, as just a basic principle. So when we get into crypto, valuing and putting a valuation on crypto is an interesting theme. I think the theme that has at least helped create a lens to look through for me is a question that was asked to Jerome Powell, and this is 4 or 5 years ago in a Federal Open Market Committee meeting. It was really around what is the future of crypto and how do we value it. His answer, I thought, was incredibly insightful. You know, as we looked at it as a currency and how to value it, you can go back to the gold standard. The gold standard was very, very difficult because you couldn't get your baseline of supply and demand into place because they kept finding more and more gold and mining that out, and that put a slippery ability for us to determine what is the true valuation. Is it a limited commodity? Is it not a limited commodity? And we went away from the gold standard several years ago. When the crypto world, Jerome Powell's answer was that in a currency basis, as you look forward, is there a place for digital currency? His answer was yes. We've continually evolved. We came off the gold standard. We have different ways of looking at currency. And so is there a future in digital currency? And he said yes. But we often look at the value of currency as our balance sheet. So if you were to look at the value of our currency against our balance sheet as the United States, well, it's dismal. That's not the valuation. He said the value of a currency is the rule of law. And I find that very interesting. The ability that you can confidently, two companies or individuals can enter into a contract, and that under rule of law, that those contracts can have a high degree of certainty in that ability to perform under that contract is what creates the stability. Really interesting principle. So he commented on, as you look at other global currencies taking over, and it's very, very difficult, for example, if you were looking at a Chinese currency, because that rule of law is not honored. It's based on a different type of legal system that can be changed at any point. And so that makes it very, very difficult for that to become a global standard. And so I just share that as a principle. As I look at, cryptocurrency, Powell's comments, he said, yes, there will be a place for it. Yes, they are working on that. But until there is some form of rule of regulation and law around that you can work into contract law, it'll be very, very difficult for that to have a stable valuation put forward. So I just share that as a thought and a principle as we evaluate crypto. I don't have all the answers on crypto. There are those that are brilliant minds that operate there. I am an advocate. If you're investing in crypto, do it via money managers that are experienced in that understand that market, that spend all their time delving into that, and I believe you get a better result than just you jumping in, and because it's doing well one day, throwing a bunch of money into it. So anyways, there's my take on crypto and a couple of principles that have been helpful for me, just wrapping my mind around it. And so feel free to submit any more questions, but that's Brett's take on crypto.